Before we start analyzing modern tricks and tactics used today's scammers and con artists, I would like to give you a warning, guys. Please listen carefully and share this video to your family and social groups, like WhatsApp. Guys, there's a new level of AI scam out there. They tried to trick me. At first I panicked. I narrowly escaped the trap. But now I am safe. These scammers have upgraded their tools. Imagine this scenario. Your phone rings. It's a strange number. You pick up and you hear the voice of your wife, your husband, your sibling, or your best friend. They're in distress. They're crying. They are frantic. Babe, I've been arrested. Or, Mummy, I was in an accident. Please talk to this man. Then a policeman, or doctor, takes the phone and demands an urgent transfer to resolve the situation. The voice sounded exactly like them. The tone, the inflection, the laugh, the cry. It was 100% them. Except it wasn't. It was AI voice cloning. Unscrupulous people are now harvesting voice data online. If you are a content creator, a podcaster, or just someone who posts videos on TikTok and Instagram, your voice is out there. They feed it into an AI tool, and within seconds, they can make you say absolutely anything. But here's the scarier part for regular people who aren't content creators. Have you noticed an increase in random calls from strange numbers where nobody speaks when you pick up? You say, hello? Hello? Can you hear me? You get angry. You ask, who is this? The line stays silent, and then they cut the call. You didn't just have a bad connection, you likely just gave them your voice sample. They record those few seconds of you speaking, and that is often enough for advanced AI to clone your voice and use it to scam your elderly parents or desperate spouse later. How to stay safe in this AI era? The silent call rule. When a strange number calls you, do not be the first to speak. Pick up and wait. If there is a human there, let them introduce themselves. If it's silence, cut the call. Stop feeding them your hello, verify, verify, verify. If you get a distress call from a loved one on a strange number, hang up immediately and call them back on their original known number. 99% of the time, they are safe at work and have no clue what you're talking about. Have a family password. This is old school but necessary. Have a secret code word with your close family. If anyone calls claiming to be in trouble, ask for the code word. AI cannot guess your family secret. Technology is beautiful, but in the hands of criminals, it is a weapon. This AI era is bringing about new levels of cyber threats, and ignorance is no longer an excuse. Please share this video with your circle. Don't become a victim before you learn. Stay alert, guys. My friend, do you think you're too smart to be scammed? Think again. Today's world of financial scammers have greatly evolved. Today, we're exposing the psychological traps and the hidden architecture of the modern con artist. If you have money in the market, you are a target. This isn't just about protecting the youth or the elderly. This is about a system designed to deceive everyone. That rectangular glass in your hand is currently a digital doorway for the most sophisticated predators' human history. You're likely in 5 different anonymous WhatsApp groups right now, aren't you? You see them every day in WhatsApp groups and TikTok with names like Crypto Alpha Gems or Passive Income 2026 or Forex Lords, and you have seen those endless screenshots of green bars and that guy in the rented Lamborghini telling you that your 9 to 5 is a mental prison. But here is the cold, hard truth that no one wants to admit because you aren't actually being invited to a gold mine, but instead, you are the gold being mined. Today we are stripping away the masks and we are exposing the 10 architects of ruin who are the liars and the fakes and the predators online who want your savings and your trust and your entire future. If you have ever felt like an investment was too good to be true then, this video is your essential survival manual. 1. The deceiver, the master of the half-truth and their tactics. This is a simple one because they don't tell a big, obvious lie, but they just tilt the truth by 15 degrees to make it look like a legitimate opportunity. You will usually find them in open spaces or at networking events where they look like high achievers. And also you can find them in WhatsApp groups. Think of the pre-IPO scammers who tell you a company is about to go public, which is technically true because the company exists, but the shares they are selling to you are completely fake. You can spot them by listening for what they don't say, since a deceiver focuses on the potential but never the probability. When they lie, they often look you dead in the eye while overcompensating to prove they aren't hiding anything, and they use visual anchoring by pointing at real things like a nice office to distract you from the fake paperwork in their hand. These people are dangerous because they use reality as a shield for their fiction, and they make you feel like you are the one being paranoid for asking questions. 2. The Fabricators, the storyteller of dreams, and their tactic involves building an entire cinematic universe around a lie. You find them lurking in anonymous WhatsApp groups where they use a script that usually starts with them being a broke janitor until they discovered a secret AI trading bot. Fabricators invent entire histories, and they create fake testimonials with AI-generated faces while creating a legend to make you feel like if they can do it, then you can too. The red flag is when their backstory sounds like a Hollywood movie, because it usually is, and when fabricators lie, they provide way too much unnecessary detail. If you ask a simple question and get a 10-minute epic poem about their personal struggle, then you know they are fabricating a reality that doesn't exist. They rely on your empathy to bypass your logic. So they tell stories that pull at your heartstrings while they reach for your wallet. 3, the manipulator. He acts as the emotional puppet master by using your own fear and greed against you in high-pressure environments, like sales offices or closing rooms. Their primary psychological trigger is the fear of missing out, where they tell you there are only 2 slots left, and if you don't send the money in the next 10 minutes, they're giving your spot to a wealthy investor from Dubai. Famous exposure of this is Jordan Belfort, who was known as the Wolf of Wall Street because he didn't just sell stocks, but he sold the feeling of being rich while manipulating his clients into staying on the phone until they either bought or died. You can identify them because they use pacing and leading to get you to say yes to small things, so your brain is primed to say yes to the big scam. If you feel an urgent physical pressure in your chest to act immediately, then you are being manipulated by a professional who knows exactly which buttons to push. 4, the fraud. This is the professional imposter who pretends to be a legitimate entity by setting up fake offices in expensive buildings to gain your trust. Their move is renting a virtual office for $50 a month in a famous skyscraper where they have a receptionist and fancy coffee and certificates of incorporation on the wall that they just printed at home. A practical example is the regulated broker scam, where they claim to be SEC or FCA regulated and even give you a fake registration number to look official. To check their identity, you should look for micro expressions like contempt, which is a tiny one-sided smirk because they think they are much smarter than you. You must always verify the license on the official government website and never use the link they send you, because a fraud thrives on the appearance of authority and the laziness of the victim. 5, the hypocrite. This is the do as I say ghost who sells a lifestyle they don't actually live, and you will find them all over Instagram and TikTok. The reality is that these wealth gurus are selling $2,000 courses on how to get rich, but their only actual source of income is selling the course itself. Many famous finfluencers who promoted FTX and Sam Bankman-Fried were exposed as hypocrites because they told you your money was safe while they were secretly being paid millions in sponsorship fees to lure you in. You spot them by looking for the gap between their words and their reality, because if they are teaching crypto security, but their own accounts get hacked, or they preach financial freedom while they are drowning in credit card debt to fund their aesthetic, then they are hypocrites who don't believe their own lies. 6, the pathological liar. This is the chaos agent who lies even when the truth would work better, and you can find them everywhere, from open spaces to fake offices. The danger here is that you can't logic your way out of a conversation with them because they don't have a logical motive, since they lie for the duping delight, which is the high they get from tricking you. You can identify them by watching for inappropriate affect, where they might smile while telling a sad story or look bored while talking about guaranteed 100% returns. Their stories change every single time you ask, and if you catch them in a lie, they don't apologize, but they just invent a brand new lie to cover the old one until you are so confused that you just give up and believe them. 7, the con artists. This dude plays the confidence game, where they don't steal your money, but they make you want to give it to them in public spaces or seminars. The anatomy of a con involves finding the mark and then showing you a small win by paying you tiny returns. At first, to build your confidence. Once you invest your life savings, they perform the blow-off and disappear into thin air. Bernie Madoff ran the biggest Ponzi scheme in history by building extreme confidence and making people feel privileged just to know him. The tell is that they are always too charming. And while real investment professionals are often boring and talk about risk management, the con artists only want to talk about luxury lifestyles and easy money. They make you feel like you are part of an inner circle while they are actually preparing to rob you blind. 8, the perjurer. This is the false witness who uses fake legal backing or official stamps to lie, and they usually reach you through professional-looking legal emails or court summons scams. They try to trick you by saying your account has been seized by a tax authority and you must pay a fine to release it, because they use the weight of the law to terrify you into compliance. You can identify them by remembering that real government agencies do not communicate via WhatsApp or ask for payments in Google Play, cards, or Bitcoin. If someone swears on their life or swears on a holy book in a business deal, you should run the other way, because honest people let the contract do the talking and they don't need to use God as a cosigner for their lies. 9. The charlatan. The fake expert who uses technobabble to sound smart in technical webinars or educational groups. They use buzzwords like quantum encrypted blockchain liquidity pools with neural network arbitrage, which is just a bunch of nonsense words designed to make you feel too stupid to ask questions. A common example is the health wealth charlatan selling miracle, supplements, or secret wealth frequencies that don't exist. To expose them, you should ask them to explain the mechanics of the investment. Like, you are 5 years old and a charlatan will usually get angry or defensive by telling you that if you don't understand it, then you aren't ready for this level of wealth. This is a classic lie used to protect their lack of actual knowledge. 10. The equivocator, the human shadow who gives you the non-answer, especially in customer support, chats for failing platforms. They use phrases like, we are currently optimizing the withdrawal protocol to ensure maximum synergy for our stakeholders, when the real meaning is that they spent your money and you aren't getting it back. You can identify them by the word salad they produce, because if you ask if you can withdraw your money today and they respond with a paragraph that doesn't include the word yes, then they are equivocating. They use distancing language, like saying mistakes were made instead of saying I stole your money, and they thrive in the gray areas where they can hide their theft behind complex vocabulary. Listen, because the smartphone in your pocket is a miracle, but it is also a fishing hook, and these 10 types of deceivers are out there right now, typing in your DMs and posting on your feed and sitting in those anonymous groups. You need to follow this 3-step protection plan immediately, starting with the boring rule, where if an investment sounds exciting, it is probably a scam, because real wealth building is as boring as watching grass grow. Next, use the Google rule, where you don't just Google the name of the company, but you Google the company name plus the word scam or reviews to find the people who are already screaming for help. Finally, use the verification rule, where if they say they are in a fancy office, you should go there, and if they say they are regulated, you should call the regulator yourself. Remember that famous experts get caught too, like in the Theranos scandal, where Elizabeth Holmes fooled the smartest people in the world by being a deceiver and a fraud and a charlatan all at once. If billionaires can get fooled, then you definitely can too. So do not let your desire for a better life blind you to the reality of the predator. Your hard-earned money deserves a better home than a scammer's pocket. So before you go, I want to ask if you are in a group right now that feels off. If you are, then drop a comment below without posting any links and describe what they are promising, so we can use the comment section to expose these tactics in real time. Please like this video to help the algorithm spread this warning to more people, and subscribe so you never miss a guide on how to protect your future. Stay smart and stay skeptical, and keep your money where it belongs, which is with you. And I will see you in the next one.